is opening up.
Birth is not an emergency, it's just as simple as having her cycle.
We taught them what they call the art of birth. We got women out of stirrups. We allowed them to walk.
How are you going to open up if you don't feel safe?
Why would we be consciously walking to a place where people are knowingly sick?
There needs to be a midwife for every woman.
We can do a little sound healing and meditation before we get started, kind of tap into our own energy of the room and what we want to create. We'll start with you, because you're the prettiest in the room in the front, right? See? There's some other pretty people in the room too, they just in the back. Right.
I do doula work, birthing, I don't know. I am an educator, and just recently I just graduated from library information science, and I did some my research around closing the gap in the access to information for women of color and birthing wisdom.
I'm here to support, and what I want to give today is, I'm feeling neutral, right, outside. So it's really hard for me to give something today, but I hope to be able to just be a place of holding in space and support. So that's it. Thank you.
I am hoping to take in information. I recently just moved back to Chicago, specifically for a community like this. So hoping to learn, pull from it, and I feel lots of gratitude.
Thank you.
I'm a nurse and doula and a student nurse midwife. I also work with ChicagoBMC Collective and FGMC and NYC. And one word I'm feeling today is blessed.
What was your word?
Blessed.
Okay, that's a great word.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I am a UIC MPH student, currently studying epidemiology, a concentration in maternal child health.
Yay.
A word that I'm feeling is healing. And I just hope to learn all about community and midwifery.
Thank you.
I'm actually just a teaching artist at Kenwood School of Dance. And I was invited.
Oh, excuse me, I don't want to interrupt you. We're going to start that over.
Your own.
What's your name?
I'm Talitha.
What do you do?
I'm a teaching artist at Kenwood School of Dance.
Carry on.
I was invited by Miss Williams, and my work was actually inspired as well. This is kind of, I knew I was going to be working with children and kids. I feel like kind of this is like where I want to be like moving towards next. My word is inspired as well.
Yay, let's see.
I'm a husband.
Yeah.
And brother, sister, not sister, brother, nephew, such. Work with a lot of young men, doing like, you know what I'm saying, all kinds of stuff with young men, so I want to like be present, learn more things for them, become better fathers and things like that. So that's one of the things I'm doing. My word for today is focus.
And what is your connection to the birthing space?
I make babies.
And you are also a full spectrum doula.
Yeah, I've been trying to keep down business.
Okay, thank you.
Well, one of my specialties is disability and around helping disabled folks have a birth worthy of dignity and care. And around that goes into my birthing story of how I entered the world. Essentially, I was suffocated in the womb, where the doctors essentially told my mother, my parents, your child would not have a life expectancy worthy of anything. And so being around that and knowing what disability looks like and how it affects people in birthing, even now at 34, being in reproductive care and reproductive work, specifically in this state, because this state, if we can talk about when we are, but in this state, because I have a disability, I can easily have my reproductive rights taken away from me because I'm labeled as mentally incapable of caring for myself. And so that's where I walk into the birthing space.
I'm Jessica. I was invited by my lovely dear friend Shariah. She was also my amazing doula. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and I'm just here to support her. I'm blessed. I feel blessed and grateful to be here. I'm in the process of opening a home care agency that'll focus on postpartum help for mothers, postpartum in every season of motherhood. So I'm just grateful to be here.
Yes. And I know we have our lovely panel members questions to ask you all. If you could just give what's your name? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What's your birth sign? Right. Give us your rally checking. Give us your information so we can.
My name is Star, also known as Sister Star. I am a certified professional midwife. I'm actually one out of 2 Black CPMs currently in the States.
Okay.
I am a revolutionary, I'd like to think. So I came here originally from Cali, moved several different pieces of legislation, legalized CPMs in the state of Illinois, founded a nonprofit organization, was in a documentary actually with the BBC. I'm not sure if some of you guys saw it, won a BAFTA Awards. It's also in the Black Harvest Film Festival. Yeah. Really busy. I'm currently installing or leading a project in terms of what will be the first freestanding birth center in Jamaica.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and I have a historic project that I'm working on here in Chicago. We'll probably talk about it in the panel, but essentially will be the first direct entry midwifery school in the state and the 10th or the 11th NEEC accredited school in the entire United States.
And can you give us a word to start? One word that you are feeling today, whether it's you want to give it or receive it or both?
I would probably say guided because I think names are super symbolic, and I feel like I could never have done this work if it wasn't for me being guided by the Most High. And I think the fact that my name is Star, which means like a guide, and obviously we're in a very dark time in our history right now, so I feel like that word is really resonating with me in terms of being my motivation and moving. And some of you guys know that at one point I was delivering babies underground illegally because this work needed to be done regardless. So it's going to take some of us to really step up on the front lines, but a lot of us have already sacrificed our time and our energy to get us to where we are now. So now we're able to bring and have our time to be put back in our hands right now. Like I just want you guys to recognize like what that means right now, because they're trying to program and manipulate us and really take over our wombs as Black women, right? Because we have the power of like the next generation in our hands. So we have to be so mindful of who we allow to have access to us, the seeds that are being planted in our minds, and just like the time that we're in. So yeah, we'll get more into it. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
My name is Andrea. I am a mother. Yes, thank you. First and foremost, I am a birth and postpartum doula. I am a student midwife, and I tell you what, being a student midwife, this is the most trying years of my life. I'm going to tell you right now, I've been through so many things. I've moved from Washington State to Florida, from Florida to Chicago. I have
And the trenches.
Lost and gained so many things. Sacrifice. But I'm going to keep doing that.
I understand.
Yes, blessing. I'm going to keep doing that for all of the Black mothers, because we deserve what I didn't get as a 21-year-old in the hospital, not being supported, not knowing my options, not knowing what I could or couldn't do, and having body autonomy and having freedom to move my body and to listen to what spirit and what the ancestors were telling me. And so that's who I am. That's why I'm here. A little emotional, you know, sometimes it happens. And I think my word for today is hopeful.
Thank you.
Okay, my turn. All right. My name is Shariah Sanders. I am a full spectrum doula. I am now a birth assistant and a student midwife. I just want to help like Star like get to where she needs to go, and I've been inspired by her work through my own experience, and every mother that I come into contact with, I just want to make sure they're okay. It wasn't anything anybody taught me. It just like came from the Most High down into my brain, into my feet, into my hands, and everything that I did just kept cycling around that. So when I connected with Star, I was just like, what do you need, sis? Where are we at? And she took me under, like, quickly. So I'm thankful, I'm excited, I'm encouraged. I'm the community coordinator for BMC now, so I'll be planning events and all throughout the summer and next year and forever, whenever she needs anything. I'm excited. And I'm thankful for all of you to be here. Thank you.
Don't forget your word. What's your word?
My word? Okay.
Yeah.
What I say? I'm encouraged. I feel encouraged. I feel really encouraged.
Okay, thank you. And I just want you to just take a deep breath in and exhale. And just listen to your body. Where do you feel like you're holding some tension in your body? Good. Now I want you to just kind of roll your shoulders back slowly. Right? Roll anything off of you that is not necessary for you to be in this space. Right? Imagine yourself in a space where you are creating in a creative room together with your roommates. That's what we are right now. And now I want you to roll your shoulders forward. And because there is power and life in your hands, in your heart, in your body, in your breath, I want you to take your hands, build up some chi, some heat. Wake those hands up. Those hands you've caught babies with, changed babies with. Right? Take those hands, put one on your heart, put one on your stomach if you can. If you're holding the baby, do the best you can, don't worry. And just send yourself some love. All those words that you all said that you wanted to bring in. bless yourself. Give birth in this moment to the things that you have spoken over yourself. Anoint yourself. You are the healer. You are the blessing to our community that has been needing you. You are the blessing that you have been needing over yourself and your life and your family. You are the answer to the prayer. Divine Father, God, Creator, we thank you for the hands that prepared this food for us on today. Allow us to connect with community as we eat together. Amen, Ashe. Thank you. We want to say thank you to the sewer room for having us here in this amazing space. Y'all clap it up for them too. And we want to give thanks to you all for being present and here with us today. So give yourself a big Okay, so today we're going to hear from some very powerful, legendary community members that are doulas, midwives, and student midwives, and so much more. So I'm going to pass the mic around. Actually, I don't have to pass my mic. I get my own mic today. We're going to have our panel introduce yourself. Yeah, so introduce yourself.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Star August. Perfect. All right, can you guys hear me now? Yeah. All right, perfect. Greetings, everybody. My name is Star August Ali, also known as Sister Star. I'm the executive director and founder of Black Midwifery Collective, which is a nonprofit based here on the south side of Chicago that focuses on Black maternal health, specifically trying to grow and diversify the midwifery working force. As you guys can see, we have a panel of Black midwives here, which is really rare if you guys really understand the maternal health landscape, specifically in Chicago or Illinois. It's crazy that we're all here together right now this time. I'm also a certified professional midwife. I happen to be 1 out of 2 in the state of Illinois. I work to actually legalize home birth midwives in the state of Illinois. I came into an organization by the name of Illinois Council of Certified Professional Midwives, rose through the ranks of an almost all-white organization, became their first president of color in their almost 40-year history. Within 6 months, I passed the bill legalizing home birth midwives in the state.
Went on to work on two other pieces of legislation related to community-based birth with my other organization, Herbalist Collective. Currently working on one other project that's extremely historic. We haven't announced it to the press yet, but we'll be installing what will be the first direct entry midwifery program in the state of Illinois and the 11th MEEC accredited school in the entire country. Thank you so much.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mekazin Alexander. I am the Executive Director and Co-Founder for Bania Incorporated. We are an organization that provides education, direct service, workforce development, as well as indirect services to our communities. I'm really proud to say that our Ancestral Seed Certification Program is a program that certifies doulas in the state of Illinois. And I think what really makes me proud about that is because we have our own curriculum. It's culturally congruent. It's not throwing shade, but it's not DONA. It's not any of the other, founding Caucasian organizations that really are not connected to who we are and what we do. So our next cohort actually starts on June 5th. You can go to our website, bania.com, and register. We provide childbirth education, infant massage, a specialist for postpartum mamas, and of course we do labor and delivery. I am one of the first Black traditional midwives in the city of Chicago. I've been doing it for a really long time. Very proud of that. We were doing it when it wasn't reproductive justice. We were doing it when it wasn't a thing. We were doing it underground, because there was a need to support our families with the choices of birth that they wanted. So I really feel proud to be here with younger, coming midwives. This is wonderful because we have to keep the legacy going. And we have to be, as the Black Midwifery Collective is saying, a midwife in every neighborhood. So we got to make that happen. So I really feel honored and I appreciate everyone coming today. And let me just say this right now. If you've never shopped in the Silver Room, do so today.
I'll keep my elder status and I'll sit. My name is, I'm Dr. Reneau Diallo, certified nurse midwife. I've been in healthcare since 1966. I only stopped working during the pandemic, and that was because of family and organizations who thought I was up in my 70s and that I should step back. But I'm still glad to be here, especially seeing all of the young ones come through. When I started in midwifery, and I won't go too long, but everything I did was a fight. U of I didn't let many of us in. I might have been the only one in my class. When I was in nursing school, I was the only African American in the whole school. I went to Northwestern. So I've had a battle and a challenge, and I am just so happy to see all of this come to fruition, that we have younger, energized, that's why I use that word, energy, people coming through to push the kind of care that we need in our community. Thank you.
I guess I have to stand because I'm not that much of an older. My name is Andrea Vaughn, or Andrea. I am a mother. I am a birth and postpartum doula. I am a birth assistant. I am a student midwife, a student the CPM student midwife. I am the co-coordinator for Black Midwifery Collective, community co-coordinator. I'm really grateful. I just want to say to Star, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. Like, randomly one day on Facebook, she friend requested me, and I was like, somebody told me there were no Black CPMs in Chicago, but there is. And I reached out to her and I said, you friend requested me. She said, yeah, I did. I said, well, look, we need to figure some things out. And here I am. Less than a year later, I moved to Chicago and here I am. So yeah, just doing this community work, and I'm so grateful to be here, like with these legends and people that have been here for a long time.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming. My name is Shariah Sanders. I am a full spectrum doula. I have been a doula since, I've been a doula for 17 years, like if I counted it up. And before it was mainstream, nobody knew what I was talking about. They were like, what is a doula? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, a mother is pregnant, she needs help, and I'm gonna do all the things that she needs help for. So I didn't have a lot of support, but I just kept going, and as I watched Instagram take off and Facebook take off, and my friends like had babies, I just wanted to make sure I was there for them. One day I was sitting there and I was just like, but I really want to be a midwife. And I couldn't figure out the steps to get there because my spirit was like so turned off to the traditional way. I just could feel it. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't want to be a nurse first and then be this and then do that. Like, I just want to help. I want to go this way. And then when I saw the news of Star, I just linked her. I just wanted to tell her congratulations. And the same thing with Andrea. I was like, we got work to do. She's like, you ready? So she's just been helping me ever since. And I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful for all of you, especially like direct connects, like seeing my clients who are sisters, just giving and taking that love back and forth to each other. So you all, we are here for you, everyone in this room, next generation. Like I have daughters, I'm a mother of 6 children, 3 girls, 3 boys, and I think about them like, are they going to inherit this system, or am I going to help them have something different? And my boys too, when they come and they tell me, we want to have a baby, how are you going to have a baby? Is it going to be accepted for you to do it at home like me, or are you going to be policed? So to stop the policing, we need education and advocates, and that's what we want to do and help everyone else do that for themselves.
So we're going to start off with our first question for our midwives on the panel. The question is, how do you see the role of traditional midwifery evolving alongside modern midwifery practices, especially within the Black indigenous communities? So we will start with Mekazin first.
Okay. It's really interesting. Back in the day when it first started, traditional midwifery first started, and I think Aquila and I, who is my sister at heart and in arms, it was traditional spiritual midwifery because we brought in a flavor where we relied on systems and customs that were laid out before us. And so coming back from the land of there's nothing new under the sun, then we embrace what we learned from our ancestors and we pass that on alongside those that are still doing the work, such as Star and such as
Reneau.
I know you are.
The importance of Mama Reneau.
Yeah, the importance of Mama Reneau, as well as our sisters that are up and coming, because in alignment, we can make a difference. There is no separation between the traditional spiritual midwife or the certified professional midwife, because in that arena, in that whole birth setting, you are following the work that was laid before you. And so there's always a connection. So Star and I work together. We're like a team of midwives that's going out in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. And we make a nice contrast because, she's able to take what I know and I'm able to take what she knows, and we're able to blend it together. and we're able to serve our community of sisters in a very meaningful way, and using the knowledge that we have in order for that to happen.
Okay, as you stated, nothing's new under the sun. When we talk about traditional midwifery, it's not new. It's not new. It's the way women birthed. It was the way our cultures birthed. As there was this quote-unquote upward mobility, our own people also chose to turn away because doctors were selling the business of birth. And so as a status, our people did not want to birth with midwives. So I had a very interesting challenge. I was fighting many systems when I went into midwifery. But there's this misconception that certified nurse midwives don't bring that same level of care into the system. We have to fight the system. Yes, we were under some protocols and things that we had to get our foot into the door, but we made significant changes. The thing is, there wasn't that many of us. I think there was a statistic, and this is some time ago, that if you looked at the nurse midwives across the United States, only 2% were people of color, and that meant not white. So when you look at your brown and your black, so when you look at blacks alone, then the statistics was even smaller. So maybe it wasn't measurable, and sometimes I felt a little offended when people were saying, well, you're in the system, but you don't know what we're doing in that system. We got women out of stirrups. We allowed them to walk. We advocated to have fathers come into the birth room. So we made significant changes in the system. And that's why I still say, yes, I do believe it. It's not cliche. There needs to be a midwife for every woman. And we need to be in the system as well as outside of the system.
I'll make a comment. Because you're absolutely correct. I think that history has shown us that we were discredited, and it goes all the way back to slavery, where we weren't allowed to have birth in hospitals. And so, hence the traditional midwife. But as soon as segregation, integration, which is our downfall, but as soon as integration came about, we did want the status of being in the hospital. But let's fast forward and say in the hospital, and every hospital has its place, right? But in the hospital is where we have seen and shown up to be killed, our babies killed. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, right? I mean, that's what's happened. Our women have died, our babies have died because of lack of support in the hospitals, whether it was a nurse midwife or a doula. At the end of the day, being able to now have a choice to have your baby at home is major. Because we didn't have that option. And now we do have that option. Now, in the hospital, we need to have nurse midwives because they do play that role to make sure that moms and babies thrive and survive. But when I say a midwife in every neighborhood, I'm talking about a home birth for every woman in the neighborhood, if you can. Not all of us can have babies at home, but if you can, and that's your choice, I think that's a beautiful thing.
Look, I'm tired of you. My prep talk. Okay.
I agree with everything that you just completely just said, right? If you think about it, it's very simple. About 10% of us are actually high risk.
So why would we, if we consciously know that over 90% of the deaths within a hospital have been deemed preventable, why would we consciously walk into a system that's murdering us instead of looking at other options? The other options is either a home birth or birth within a birth center, right? So by taking either one of those avenues, you bring back the autonomy, but specifically for a home birth, what makes it so special is that as midwives, we're able to go within your home, to sit down with you in your home, right? To be able to go into your cabinets and to make recommendations based on what we see, like real time, right? I see the way in which you connect with people around you. So we get a chance to really get to know you on a very, very intimate level. And that really helps us to see to shape how we show up for you when you need it the most. I mean, I've had people call me because they've gotten such intimate care in terms of things like, I feel like I'm about to take my life more than once, right? So that's how intimate of care you become like your best friend that's going to ride with you all the way through this. No judgment. All the information you need, I'm right here. I'm going to go right with you through it. So I think it's needed in this time. I think it's very needed.
Thank you.
To look at how this come full circle around. One of the reasons that I'm a midwife is because I grew up in North Lawndale on the west side of Chicago. Chicago Maternity Center. All of our moms gave birth at home. That's what we do. So the whole notion of moving and the medicalization of childbirth, we're just coming full circle right back to what we know we can do.
Thank you. So I want to pass the mic to Andrea, and the question that I have for you and Shariah is, what does it... Shariah? Sorry. What does it mean for you to be training and working in this lineage right now, and how do you carry the traditions forward? I told you ahead of time. Per question. How do you carry on the traditions forward while navigating new challenges? So how do you, as an up-and-coming student midwife, doula, how do you make that connection in the work that you are doing, the things that has come before you and what you see now, what you bring?
Sometimes I think it's a little bit hard with the rules and regulations to bring that tradition. But I think what Star said is you walk into someone's house and you look at what's in their cabinets or what's in their refrigerator. And you look at how they're feeding themselves, how they're nourishing their bodies with herbs, with whatever they have. You look at what they have available and what they can actually even afford, because sometimes you come in and you're like, oh, I think, and then you're like, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything until I can bring this to you because you can't access it. Like, I've gone into people's homes and I'm like, oh, you know, they're complaining about aches and pains in their body, and I have ideas of herbs or, you know, vitamins that they can take, but I'm in their home and I can see that me telling them to take some arnica or some magnesium, they're gonna say, oh yeah, where can I get that? But they're not gonna be able to, and so I'm gonna have to leave. And then I'm gonna have to figure out as a student, y'all kind of understand what that means, right? Or maybe I should go back and explain what that means. So as a CPM student, I don't get paid. So when I'm caring for the clients and I'm trying to bring those traditions and I'm looking in their cabinets and learning what they need, I might have to go to Star and be like, hey Star, how are we gonna do this? Because we've done that before. How are we gonna make sure that they get what they need? And then we have to come together as a community and we have to work together and we have to bring that in, because we can't rely on other people. We have to rely on the traditions. We have to rely on the ancestors and the ancestry that has been passed down to these women, because we know that we call and reference. Did we not have a conversation with you? When was it? what's going on? What do you think we should do? How should this be addressed? We have to reach to them. We have to reach to the people that have come before us to help us to continue in this journey.
Okay, so you gotta give me the question one more time.
Yes.
No, okay, no, I know. Traditions, how we are carrying them out now. Yes?
Yes, how are you connected to the lineage that you are the work?
Yeah, and how I feel about it. I feel so like aligned. Like I really know this is where I'm supposed to be. So I'm not surprised. I'm just like, man, I was sitting there like, how is this gonna happen? And then it happened, I'm like, oh, because you just literally asked for it. Like you want this is what you're supposed to do. So everything that I'm doing, I was telling Star the other day, like, I do read, I study nonstop, right? But otherwise it would have been my grandma telling me or my great-grandma telling me. But this is coming from my ancestors through my body, through my hands, like just like natural flow. So I started Metabotanicals because I was keep getting calls from moms, can you do this, can you do that? And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna keep trying, and I had all my knowledge of herbs. Like herbs is the tradition that I feel like I got directly. Because that was the solution to not going straight to pharmaceuticals and the negative effects of pharmaceuticals and giving birth and not wanting pain and expecting that, well, if I give birth at home, I'm just going to be in excruciating pain. That's not true. There are herbs, there's positions, touch. How many times did your OB rub your back? They don't. They don't touch you. They don't even talk to you for more than 5 minutes. You're in the waiting room for 50. So the traditions are coming through serious personal connections and solutions outside of the pharmaceutical situation, because that's also what they're pushing in the hospital when you give birth and things like that. Comfort measures and the herbs. And I started with the botanicals because I wanted something physical to always have. Like my jars are always stocked with red raspberry beef and oat straw and chamomile and a solution when somebody calls me, because I need it to be practical. And then, like we said, if you don't have it, I'm gonna come bring it to you. Why? Because I already made all the tea for you to come, because I don't want you to be wondering, well, how much of this am I supposed to do? You don't have time to think like that when you're trying to solve something. So that's my thing.
Thank you. Keep the mic. Yes. So this is a question for everyone. Then if you are led to answer, then we'll just pass the mic back down, right? So in a time when Black maternal health outcomes are in crisis, how can the collective, like the Black Midwifery Collective, shift the narrative and create lasting impacts? And that impact, you can look at within families, within hospitals. How do you think that this work can shift?
If the base care, like the base education for providers was midwifery care, I think that would soothe over so many different things. Because when you have an OB, they're trained to be a physician, right? Extreme emergency situation. But a midwife, her practice is that birth is safe, birth is natural, birth is normal. So you can have that in the hospital if somebody's advocating for that for you. So Black Midwifery Collective is directly connected to a solution of training Black midwives, because the next step is, like we said, all the midwives in the hospital, the large majority are Caucasian or a race that can't connect to your story, doesn't live in your neighborhood, doesn't understand your economic situation. So the judgments that are coming down don't allow you to open up. Birth is opening up. That's exactly what it is. How are you going to open up if you don't feel safe? How are you going to open up if you don't feel solutions? Where for Black maternal health, it's not just being pregnant. It's also, you're about to give birth. How am I going to raise this baby in this society, in this system, that if I don't even want to give them vaccines, they must send DCFS to my door in my hospital before I even leave? That's a problem. So if you have a midwife whose their care is, this is natural, this is normal, I'm going to help you have a natural, normal, safe, psychological birth, that solves a lot of things to me.
Thank you.
I think part of it is bringing back accessible midwifery training. It is not accessible, and Black Midwifery Collective is working on that and making changes so it is accessible to everyone, especially Black women who want to be midwives. It historically takes us at least twice as long, if not 3 to 4 times as long, than white midwives to even complete our education. And then they gave us timelines and time frames, and they say, you know, you got to get this done, but you also have to take care of your family or live. But there's no access to being able to do that. And so I think, and I know that we are going to change that moving forward. So it's going to be easier for the next generation of Black midwives to become midwives, and so they don't have to worry about how they're going to get to point A and point B because their car broke down, or how are they going to take care of their families. Because if you look at it and you see, childcare, right? Childcare. Who's going to take care of the babies when my children thankfully are grown. I don't need a babysitter. But when you have a 3, 4, and 5-year-old, who's going to take care of your child so that you can go to the birth, so that you can meet the requirements, so that you can become the midwife, so that you can save the next generation? So I know that we're going to make changes in that way.
Thank you.
Well, I look at it as twofold. Number one, to prepare the midwife, but also to prepare the mother. And that's what I see as so crucial to having, it sounds cliche-ish, but every woman needs a midwife. Yes. We must prepare women for whatever birth option they want, whether they want a home birth, whether they want a birthing center birth, or a hospital birth. There is enough for all of us to do to be that village for the birthing family. As Black midwives, we also promote and celebrate the cultural patterning around our birth experience. We also bring our spirituality around our birthing experience. My master's thesis was childbearing practices of African American women across 3 generations. I was looking at assimilation. What do we embrace? What do we let go of? And definitely there is that spirituality and belief systems that are important for our birthing women. One of the things they start to do in the hospital is allow the residents to rotate with the midwives. We taught them what they call the art of birth. So I'm not trying to make excuses for physicians, but just put this in the context. They practice medicine. So that's why when you walk away from the doctor, you have 12 bottles of pills, because that's how they're educated. That's how they're socialized. When they know better, they do better.
And you're in their space, and they think they know more than you do about the person who's in the bed about to give birth. So a lot of times the disrespect is really centered around there. And I usually find a way to kind of get in to where I've had several people say, doctors and nurses say, oh wow, when I have my baby, I want you to be there. Because they're not going to disrupt me from making sure that the person I'm with gets the birth and the services that they're supposed to have. And so we have to always, regardless of where they are, be where we need to be. I have this saying that says, what they say says who they are, but what we say says who we are. And so if we are constantly in tune with that mom, birthing person that's giving that and having birth, then it doesn't matter where they are and what they're doing. One of the things that we are working on is a program that when we go in and actually train hospital staff, we've been fortunate, we're in Rosen Hospital, about to go into Ingalls Hospital, and we are actually training doctors and nurses, you know, that are in the OBGYN world about the benefits of having, you know, a birthing assistant with them. And so we're hoping to get into more hospitals to educate them about who we are and what we do. And I think that will help to them to understand that we're an asset, you know, and we will really help you to reduce some of those terrible statistics that you have should you let us in. So that's one of the things. And I think, you know, what words of wisdom, other than, I think we just need to be true to ourselves and true to the work that we're doing. I think that we need to recognize that we really are spiritual beings, and our charge on any level, I don't care what your path is to grow and develop spiritually. Everything else we're doing is mundane on a lot of levels. So I think if you listen to your higher voice that's always talking to you, oh, you need to do this. Oh, you need to study that. Oh, you need to go here. If you listen to that voice and you connect, as above, so below, if you connect to those forces in the universe, then you'll be guided to what it is you need to do and what you need to embrace.
Thank you. So we are going to wrap up this panel, right, real quickly. So I'm going to ask the rest of our lovely panelists the same question. What is some wisdom or advice that you would give someone that wants to consider stepping into midwifery?
I would say find a local birth worker or midwife in that neighborhood and attend birth. That way you have a chance to see if this is something that is something that resonates with you. I feel like a lot of us that are sitting here feel like it was a calling, an assignment, a divine assignment. But I think going to birth really affirms it every time. So we obviously attend the birth with the local midwife.
Thank you.
Get in where you fit in. You know, there's a lot to be done and there's enough to be done. I have had friends of mine who wanted to be doulas. I went to doula training with them. I took them. I have friends of mine who want to be midwives. I had them to spend a day with me to see if this is what they really wanted to do. Now, since there are other options for entering the midwifery workforce here in Illinois, thank you very much, that even opens up more options for people here. I used to have to encourage people to leave the state. I thought I was going to have to go to Great Britain to be a midwife because University of Illinois kept me on their waiting list almost forever because they were not allowing people of color in. So I know the struggle, and that's why I said get in where you fit in. And now in 2025, we definitely have more options. I think we've said it all. Partner with someone who is doing the work and see what you like.
Thank you.
Yeah, they said what I would say. That's what I did. It wouldn't go away in my mind, so I was like, all right, I need a physical person to tap into. Like, I need to tap into myself more and more every day, be steady and disciplined in my modeling care for myself, right? So am I meditating? Am I doing my yoga? Am I working out? Am I eating well so I can receive all this knowledge and receive the connections? And then I started I had a home birth. And then I've had many different births, but my goal was always to have a home birth. I've been a home birth advocate since that was like how I started to become a birth worker. And then I found Reneau through the midwife that I have that helped me with my births, and I think them a star and start connecting me to other people. So yeah, what's for you is for you, and you won't know what's for you until you tap into yourself. So nobody's gonna tell you, you have to know within yourself.
So I want to thank all of our panelists. I want to thank again the Silver Room for having us. I want to thank you all for coming. I want to thank you for the work that you do. You all, there is a QR code that you can connect to.
Yes, and those herbs, that's for, there's 20 in there, so first 20 guests or whoever gets to get in there, that's
So we're going to roll with the first 20 people. You know, if you just walked in, don't go into that basket first, okay? We're going to work with that. Then if there are some left, then you will get one. We're going to practice a little integrity here. That's kind of why we're here now, because we believe in birth and being able to have some integrity in those spaces, and that's what these midwives provide for us. So we're going to do that with that basket of those 20 herbs. You know you didn't get here first. Don't go there first, okay? Thank y'all for coming out.
For having us.
And I'm gonna say anything last, and then you can say the last one.
All right, thank you everyone. Like she said, thank you Lotus. Thank you. I called her, she was like, it was like talking, I never talked to her before. It was like I had already talked to her like yesterday. And I was like, she's like, I put this up on Facebook, I got my mentee, and I just really appreciate that, because it's hard trying to do stuff. And then my brethren T with the music and setting the energy, and Reneau on the camera, and Ying on the other camera, and the sisters in the audience, and all of our team. Like, it might seem like this is small, but it's big, you know, and there's more to come. So just please stay connected with us. We're here out of love and ancestry and tradition, so we're not going anywhere. We just need you guys to come to us, and we're here for you.
And before we go, I'm going to at least try to get the old school, just a piece of paper. Please put your emails and whatnot on there. So we'll do that too, right? Okay.